the fight over a name. See what one school district decided about its longtime controversial name and image.
Plus, a Pennsylvania ghost town gets a second chance at life, with hope coming from trees.
Our organization's mission and goal is to reclaim abandoned mine sites, support the restoration of streams and rivers that are impacted.
And a marketplace grand opening in Bellefonte gives small businesses a chance to succeed even during the pandemic. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Tori Bookwalter.
And I'm Olivia Lawrence. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Pennsylvania says more help is on the way to fight COVID-19. The state says it's sending more vaccines to more providers to widen the distribution network. That includes doctors, small pharmacies, and others. The health department says it's allocated more than 295,000 doses to nearly 400 providers. So far, more than 5 million Pennsylvanians have received at least their first dose. Meanwhile, the state-run clinic at the Bryce Jordan Center is now accepting walk-ins for its vaccinations. It will be open until 8 p.m. today and for the rest of the week from 9 to 5.
As the pandemic begins to ease, Penn State is ready to hold its first in-person graduation in 2 years. And that means local hotels are once again filling up and selling out. Reporter Dana Brewer has the story.
Since COVID hit last year, the local hospitality industry has taken a hard hit. But with Penn State holding its first in-person commencement since fall of 2019, hotels and bed and breakfasts are booking up for next weekend. Dave Gertis works with the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau.
This will be the busiest weekend that this area has enjoyed since the Whiteout 2019 weekend.
He says Center County took a cautious approach to visitors during much of the pandemic.
But we also had to be very sensitive to the community. The community throughout this pandemic have at times not been very comfortable with welcoming people in. It's not like they said no, but they didn't exactly say yes.
Visitors want to be safe too. That's why places like Our Fair Lady, B&B, and Bellefonte have made changes to make their guests more comfortable.
All of the common areas, I invested in special air purifiers that have the UV ray light systems in it. And then I also have the special UV lights that I put in all of the guest bedrooms. So when they leave, then that gets put on and it zaps everything.
Tammy's B&B still offers guests breakfast, but with a COVID twist, different locations in and outside the house to eat. Other guest houses and hotels are starting to book out too for graduation. Shaner Corporation and Happy Valley Hotels operate 4 hotels in State College.
2 of them are essentially sold out to where we have most of the rooms or maybe just 1 or 2 rooms left to sell on a particular night. The other two hotels do not have a full sellout yet.
The local hospitality industry hopes next weekend sets the bar that Center County is ready to host people in the future for more events as the pandemic eases. I'm Dana Brewer for the Center County Report.
Spring graduation at University Park begins next Friday at noon with the graduate school and wraps up Sunday at 6 p.m. with a virtual ceremony for all undergrad and graduate students.
A plan to merge 6 of 14 state universities into 2 institutions took a big step forward this week. The board of the State System of Higher Education voted to approve the plan as the system struggles with sinking enrollment. Under the proposal, Lock Haven, Mansfield, and Bloomsburg would merge into one, and California, Clarion, and Edinburgh would merge into another. The schools would all stay open, but with a single academic program, faculty, and management team. A final vote will happen in July, with implementation next year. It's been 2 weeks since the Bellefonte School Board voted to remove Native American imagery from their schools. And now, this week, the board voted to change the Red Raiders name. The vote was 6-3 to retire the word red from the name. The meeting on Tuesday night carried over into Wednesday with more than 100 Bellefonte students, parents, and residents voicing their opinions. Many were in favor of keeping the Red Raiders name, but other board members said it was time for change. One alum we spoke with agrees.
The school board has done a lot of things. They have started a inclusion, diversity, and equity committee that's made up of staff members and community members. They've started student-led groups to discuss these kinds of issues. Throughout the year, there has been so much progress made. The idea of continuing that work is fantastic.
The school board will also organize a committee of students, teachers, and community members to create a new name. The committee will submit the top 3 recommendations to the board by November.
Another school issue went before the U.S. Supreme Court this week. The justices are deciding whether public schools can discipline students for things they say off campus. It all has to do with a 14-year-old Snapchat F-bombs. Jillian Silbiger reports.
Brandy Levy was a 14-year-old freshman at Mahanoy High School near Hazleton in 2017. When she didn't make the junior varsity cheerleading team, she posted a profanity-filled Snapchat off campus after school with her middle finger up and the words, F school, F softball, F cheer, F everything. Many argue that's free speech.
Just because you're a student doesn't mean like they own everything you say.
But one of the coaches found out and suspended Levy from the team for a year. Levy's parents responded with a federal lawsuit, claiming the suspension violated her constitutional free speech rights. After an appeals ruled in Levy's favor, the school district asked the Supreme Court to take the case. The potential impact is enormous. Penn State media law professor Cindy Simmons says schools could start shutting down important political protests if the ruling goes their way.
It is not impossible that we could see some curtailment of free speech rights of young people.
The current standard is that students do not surrender their First Amendment rights at the school doors. Once the court decides their ruling in June, it will set the standard for whether schools can enforce rules and discipline students for school-related speech outside of school grounds. Paul Healy is the executive director of the Pennsylvania Principals Association. He told ABC News that schools must be able to discipline students for inappropriate conduct online if they would clearly be disciplined for the same conduct offline. And some Supreme Court justices hearing the case said the campus border isn't so clear in the age of social media and remote learning. In State College, I'm Jillian Silbiger for the Center County Report.
Again, the Supreme Court is expected to issue a ruling in the case by late June.
A new 14,000 square foot public works building has opened in Ferguson Township. The $7 million building officially opened its doors this week on Research Drive. It replaces a facility built in 1982. A year of construction on the building just wrapped up, and a ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Tuesday. The building includes offices, vehicle service bays, a fuel station, storage, and a training room.
As elected officials, it's our chief responsibility to ensure quality service delivery to the community we represent. This central tenet embodies all we do, and this building is no exception.
The township also buried a time capsule on the site this week. It'll be opened in 50 years. That's the year Ferguson Township will turn 270 years old.
Nearly 60 years after a devastating coal mine fire, a local environmental organization is working hard to bring life back to a Pennsylvania ghost town. Reporter Milena Brown has the story from Columbia County.
It's a sunny day in East Central Pennsylvania, the kind of day that makes you want to get outside and get some work done. And that's what hundreds of volunteers are here doing, outside, planting 250 apple trees.
I love every project that they do, and it's a beautiful day. There's nothing better than coming out, planting trees, and making a difference.
Making a difference by adding trees to a ghost town. This is Centralia, a small town in Columbia County that's nearly abandoned. A coal mine fire has been burning underground here since 1962, and people started leaving over the years, and now less than 10 residents remain. Weeds, graffiti, and other signs of abandonment grew over the past half-century. But now an environmental group called the Eastern Pennsylvania Coalition for Abandoned Mine Reclamation has stepped in to help. This month, volunteers made the journey to Centralia to help plant apple trees throughout the deserted areas. The group organized the project along with other cleanups in the area over the last 7 years.
Well, our organization's mission and goal is to reclaim abandoned mine sites, support the restoration of streams and rivers that were polluted by abandoned mines throughout northeastern and north central Pennsylvania.
Organizers say people come here, take coal or vandalize the area, and toss trash, leaving it worse than they found it.
Here in Centralia, community members and environmentalists are looking forward to seeing the saplings they planted here today turn into beautiful full-grown trees like the one you see here.
They hope even in a place where fire burns under an abandoned town, new life will spring again. In Centralia, I'm Milena Brown for the Center County Report.
The Eastern Pennsylvania Coalition for Abandoned Mine Reclamation holds events and projects each year, and you can see how to get involved on their website, epcamr.org.
Coming up next, a beloved event is making a return to Bellefonte after being forced to cancel last year due to COVID-19. We'll have the details. Also ahead, the story of how one local businesswoman doubled the amount of vendors in her local marketplace during the pandemic. We'll be right back after the break.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority. Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're going to take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
The summer is looking brighter for more events around the area. One of them is the historic Bellefonte Cruise, set for the weekend of June 18th. After canceling the annual Father's Day weekend event last year due to COVID, it's making a return this year. The cruise will feature classic, antique, exotic, and European cars and motorcycles, along with a Friday night sock hop, entertainment, food, shops, and more. Registrations are accepted by mail, drop-off, or on the day of the event, and all recommended CDC guidelines will be enforced.
Also in Bellefonte, the Belle Mercantile stands as a collective marketplace featuring local artisan, handmade, vintage, and unique finds. Reporter Jordan Lewis has more on how the business developed during the pandemic.
Set up as a cooperative of individual vendors, Belle Mercantile is a large retail space for small businesses to sell their products. The marketplace opened in September with fewer than 30 vendors, but has since nearly doubled that number in the last 8 months. Co-owner Andrea Skierpon is preparing for a grand reopening this weekend, and she says starting small was best.
Well, when we started, we actually started off fairly slow on purpose. We wanted to grow slowly so that we could find the right vendors, fill in the niches that weren't that we didn't have people for yet.
As the owner of Tadpole Crossing and a vendor at Belle Mercantile, Kathy Horner said the retail space has had considerable benefits for her and the Bellefonte community.
I think it is a big step forward into the revitalization of Bellefonte. It has so many different things in here that people can buy just about any gift, anything that they would want.
Looking into the future, Skierpon says she wants to continue developing the marketplace and supporting downtown Bellefonte.
We just want to continue to grow, fill in the little bit of space we have left with more unique products, especially with the pandemic. People weren't out and shopping and visiting the area. So we just really just hope to grow and continue to bring unique things to the community.
Bell Mercantile anticipates more customers walking through the door in the coming months as the pandemic eases. In Bellefonte, I'm Jordan Lewis for the Center County Report.
The business will hold a grand opening from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Now to Hannah with weather.
Thanks, Liv. So we are in a wind advisory in effect right now from the National Weather Service up until tomorrow morning because of that low pressure system that moved through our region yesterday and last night. But since then, that rain is wrapping up. But we will have a windy weekend Friday and Saturday just from that system. But the sun is returning for the day for Saturday and Sunday. But we will have more rain come into the region on Monday. So don't get rid of your umbrellas just yet. But right now, a live look at Beaver Stadium, we see that overcast sky has since started to clear up. We have those nice white, bright cumulus clouds in the air. And right now we are sitting at 55 degrees. And again, that wind at 22 miles per hour, it is coming in quite fast. So be wary of this if you're traveling outside at all today. Satellite and radar showing some spotty showers still kind of moving through the region of State College. But if you look at the whole east coast of the United States, that is the low pressure system that was in our region yesterday, but that has since moved off into the northeast and should not affect the rest of your weekend. But for today in State College, we have a high of 57. It is going to be breezy because we are in the wind advisory right now. So just be wary of that when you're going outside. And same thing for tonight. That wind is still coming in quite fast at 15 to 20 miles per hour. And it will be a low of 36. So it is going to feel quite cold tonight, but it will start to clear up for your day on Saturday. Beautiful sunshine on Saturday, high of 62, and that wind should calm down quite a bit. So hopefully we'll have a nice seasonable weather day on Saturday. For your 7-day forecast, again, like I said, we have that sunshine coming in for the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. And look at that high temperature on Sunday. We have 76 degrees. That is way above the average high for this time of year of 65. But as we get into Monday, the temperature still remains way above average, but we will have another band of precipitation moving through. And into Tuesday, again, still way above average, but because of that lingering humidity, a thunderstorm or two may be possible. Wednesday, that temperature does lower quite a bit because of that system that's moved through to a more seasonable temperature of 65 with spotty showers throughout the day. And as we get into Thursday, it will be mostly sunny. So hopefully a nice sunny weekend for everyone graduating next weekend. Now, here's Jake with sports.
Thanks, Hannah. Looking forward to some nice weather this weekend. Next in sports, Bellefonte baseball started the season strong after last season was cut short. We talked with the team about its goals. Also coming up, Penn State men's volleyball is fighting for a national championship after winning the conference. That's all after the break in sports.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
I'm Jake Starr with sports. It's day 2 of the NFL Draft. Last night, a pair of former Penn State players were selected in the first round of the draft in Cleveland. Linebacker Micah Parsons was selected 12th overall by the Dallas Cowboys after sitting out last season. Late in the first round, edge rusher Jason Owe was picked 31st overall by the Baltimore Ravens. Parsons was thankful to see his dream come true.
God's the key. Keep faith. And, just keep going, man. Shout out to the city, man. Harrisburg, PA. I hope all you guys come here one day, man.
Rounds 2 and 3 of the draft kick off at 7 o'clock tonight. Pat Freiermuth is one of many Nittany Lions expecting to hear their names called throughout the weekend. You can listen to tonight's coverage on Penn State Com Radio. Penn State's men's volleyball team is one of 7 schools gunning for a national championship in the coming weeks. Fresh off of their first conference championship win since 2017 last weekend, the Nittany Lions head to the NCAA tournament for an unprecedented 32nd time. Going into the national tournament, head coach Mark Pavlik is just excited to get the chance to play for a championship after last year's tournament was canceled due to COVID-19.
Our work's not over, and we're just looking forward to playing a national championship that all of men's volleyball missed for the last 18 months. I think we're all looking forward to getting together and celebrating the best of what we've done this year.
Penn State will compete in a play-in game against Belmont Abbey in the first round on Monday night. Penn State women's soccer is moving on in the NCAA tournament. The Nittany Lions beat Alabama State 5-0 in the opening round match Wednesday night. Frankie Taliaferri had 2 goals to lead the way. Peyton Lenahan and Olivia D'Amico added goals as well. The Nittany Lions will take on Vanderbilt in the second round tomorrow. You can listen to that game on Penn State Com Radio. Turning to high school baseball, Bellefonte is enjoying a strong season. I had a chance to stop by practice this week and catch up with the team. After losing most of its 2020 season, Bellefonte baseball was itching to return to the field this year. The Red Raiders are taking advantage of the opportunity, racing out to an excellent start. Head coach John Clark knows the work behind the scenes has been key to the team's success.
They come to practice, they work hard, they try to compete with one another in practice.
It's a tight group with 11 of the 17 players seniors, but on any given day, any player can step up.
We got a bunch of guys on the team that can really produce. Everyone 1 through 9 are starting pitchers.
And the strong start to the season has the team thinking big for when the playoffs come. The Bellefonte baseball team is enjoying one of its best seasons in recent memory, and the hope is to get back to the state championship game right here at Medler Field at Lubrano Park. The last time Bellefonte made the state championship was 2016. Its players know they're capable of getting back there.
So it's high hopes for us, and we're trying to push as much as we can.
As the season continues on, Bellefonte will work to keep its momentum heading into the playoffs. And when that time comes, Clark knows his group has what it takes to compete with anyone.
I'll take these guys any day against any other group.
As for the players, they didn't hide their thoughts on where the Red Raiders will be in June.
I think we make it to the state championship. I think we're going to win it.
State championship, no doubt.
Bellefonte returns to the field tomorrow against Hollidaysburg in the Dean Rossi Memorial Tournament. Meanwhile, State College baseball has lost 2 straight. They're 4-5 on the season. That's all for sports. Now back to Olivia at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Jake. Coming up next, after 11 years of bringing you the local news from this studio, Big changes are coming to the Center County Report soon. We'll take a look ahead and a look back next.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Today marks a special day in the history of the Center County Report. It's our final broadcast ever in this studio. Our news operation will soon be on the move as a new era begins for Penn State student journalism.
Welcome to the Center County Report. I'm Brandon Troutman.
And I'm Kelly Rippin.
The Center County Report has been covering local news for 16 years as Penn State University's student-produced TV newscast. We've covered national stories like the stunning events of the Jerry Sandusky scandal.
Sandusky was arrested on Wednesday after 2 more alleged victims testified before a grand jury, saying that they too were sexually assaulted by the former coach.
And the emotionally charged 2020 presidential election.
We begin with breaking news in the presidential election in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden has taken the lead over President Trump.
It was in 2010 that our newscast moved into our current studio at Innovation Park. For the past 11 years, this is where we've broadcast to Penn State's campus and more than 25 central Pennsylvania counties. And now, streaming live online to anywhere in the world.
Good afternoon, I'm Mike Essen.
And I'm Marielana Dolores.
Good afternoon, I'm Kennedy Bell.
And I'm Gabrielle Moore.
I'm Christian Heilman, live outside the Nittany Lion Inn.
But now, we're moving to the new Belisario Media Center on the University Park campus. A multi-million-dollar project is transforming the Willard Building into a state-of-the-art media and studio complex. And starting in the fall, that's where our students will produce and broadcast the Center County Report, a new home for the next generation of student journalists. That's all for this final newscast of the semester. A new team will be back with newscasts in September, but until then, you can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a CCR Instagram. Have a good weekend.